did my button go? Nothing yet, huh?
Oh. Oh no, I think it's just about to. Oh no, I think it's just about to start doing something this end.
Oh,
And I think
wonderful.
they can see us.
Oh, an advertisement is up. Okay, that's great.
Probably heard that.
That's fine.
Probably heard all of that. Yeah. Nothing salacious. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing
Live
salacious.
now. Wonderful. Well, hello everybody. I'm Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, and welcome to the 2021 presentation of Amiga Art Contest. It's absolutely wonderful to have you guys all here, and I think you all know my co-host, Vicky. I'll have her introduce herself and talk a little about herself in a second. And then also assisting us today, we have Daniel. Say hello, Daniel. Daniel is going to be our moderator in the chat. So if you have questions, just do an @Dan, D-A-N, and he'll type something up in the chat there so you guys can see him and say hello. But just at him if you guys have questions about anything in particular today, and he'll just poke his old man over here and let me know that there's some questions in the chat. You know Daniel, he's been an occasional visitor on my channel before. He does some videos with me for Commodore 64 and Amiga multiplayer games. We sometimes do some things together. As for myself, if any of you are new viewers and have no idea what the Amiga Art Contest is or who I am, let me give you a little bit of a background. I've been an Amiga user since 1988 when I got my first Amiga 500. I'd been watching it for 2 or 3 years beforehand, watching the Amiga 1000 and just waiting for that price to come down on a new Amiga. And I quickly understood the difference between an Amiga and a PC and a Mac, because in school we had some PCs, we had some Apples, had some Commodore 64s, and I was familiar with a Macintosh, and I instantly saw the difference in that, PCs were machines for, doing spreadsheets, doing word processors, doing business, and Macs were excelling in desktop publishing. That was like the thing back then for Macs, but they were just black and white, and their audio was pretty lame. And in the 80s there was no other machine that was as superior as the Amiga when it came to video and audio, and it quite quickly became the computer for the creative mind. That was, at least in America, one of Amiga's big pushes, was the computer for the creative mind. And we used our computers to create artwork. I had the DigiView, I had Photon Paint, I had a couple of other animation packages. Fantavision was one that I like to use, and I'd use it to actually create on the Amiga, create artwork for my job. Another thing Amiga did right that a lot of their competitors really missed out on was the creation of the IFF standard for pictures. From very, very early on in the Amiga's life, the IFF format it just became the default picture format. You want to display a picture in 320 by 200 in 2 colors? IFF. You want to display an AGA image in 1280 by 1024 colors with ham 8 mode? It's an IFF file, and they're all relatively interchangeable across the Amiga platform and beyond. We could use them on PCs too, which I think is really cool. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about the Amiga and its artistic happenings, the things that it's good at. But let's go ahead and introduce Vicky, who's right down there, and she'll tell you a little bit about herself and what she's been doing lately.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Thanks for the fantastic introduction that you've provided there. As for myself, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So I started with an Amiga 600 back in 1993, just pretty much at the tail end of Commodore's life. I still to this day don't actually know why I ended up with a computer at all, because my parents have never been inclined to be interested in that kind of stuff. So, and I never remember actually asking for a computer. And my first computer was a Commodore 64, but as a very artistic kid when I was growing up, that computer didn't lend itself to creating art because I didn't have a mouse. So the Amiga with its mouse and the Dulux Paint Free, which came was like a whole new world opening up to me. And so basically, where the Amiga came into my life was basically an artistic tool. Obviously, I used it for games like a lot of people did with their Amigas, but these days, I'd say that I predominantly use the Amiga for Dulux Paint and creating pixel artwork and so forth. It's just, I think back in those days in the early 90s, particularly in Europe, the ST was pretty much on the wane by around about 1990, 91, I would imagine, from what I recall. And so the Amiga was pretty much the default choice for people, really. If you wanted a home computer, the Amiga was much the predominant choice. And so that's pretty much why I decided to go from a 64 to an Amiga. There wasn't really an alternative at the time. So that's basically my background with the Amiga.
That's awesome. That is just awesome. So that brings us to modern times and the Amiga Art Contest, and why I decided to create the Amiga Art Contest. When I got back into the Amiga community back in 2018, I'd been kind of in and out of it for years. My Amiga 3000 died in 1997, and after that I'd picked up maybe an Amiga 4000. I bought an Amiga 1200 in like the year 2001 from AmigaKit, who's one of the sponsors of our show today. I'll talk about them in a minute. But I would jump in, and then I'd jump out, and then I'd jump back in the community, and I'd jump out, and there was no consistency to it. And so I'm not getting any younger. My kids are getting older. And so I started thinking that if I'm going to get back into the Amiga community, I needed an excuse to get into the Amiga community. I needed to have a reason to get back into it. So I started the channel, 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. And that went great, and I got a lot of supporters, met a lot of fantastic people. And then my head started thinking again, well, I needed a reason to get back in the Amiga community. I needed a push. Maybe I can help other people get back into using Amigas to what we used to use them for back in the day, which is artwork and creativity and music. So I thought, let's create a little contest. And it really worked out really well. We started it in 2019. I had Vicky come on board because I knew her through the community, and I knew she was a pixel artist. And Vicky's screen keeps changing in size there. That's interesting. And I thought, if we can bring the community together and have them create artwork again, create music again, and offer a couple little prizes in the meantime, that would be a really cool thing. So I created the Amiga Art Contest. It's worked too. As you've seen in the past couple of years, people have contributed some really awesome things. I mean, just look at this this image over here on the right. This is presented directly on my Amiga 1200. This is one of the 3D images from last year. It was one of our winners. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely beautiful image. We started out with just a hand-drawn category, a 3D category, and a photo category where you'd like edit your photos on the Amiga. And then last year we added a mod category for music. We had a couple good contributions there. And Vicky, I think we're getting some noises back from you. Can you mute your mic when you're not talking because we're getting some clicking, I think. Are you hearing that, Daniel?
Oh,
Okay, cool. Sorry. But yeah, as I was saying, we started out with hand-drawn, photographic, and 3D category. Last year, we moved on to adding a mod category. And then this year, we've opened it up to animation, which I think you'll find some really cool ones here in a couple of minutes when we show them off. Now, one of the great things about the contest, and one of the things that I've tried to stress in the contest, is as long as you use an Amiga for a good portion of the creation of your artwork, that's good enough for us. So, if you end up using your Mac, if you end up using your PC for some parts of what you're creating, that's fine. I mean, we know the Amiga can't do everything. It can just do almost everything. But yeah, if you want to incorporate other tools into your projects, absolutely beautiful. And a lot of people have been doing that. I mean, I do it myself. I take pictures on my Canon 15 megapixel DSLR camera. I bring them into my PC, and sometimes I scale them down a little bit, because when you take a raw picture on there, like I often do, they get really, really big. So I'll scale them down a little smaller version of a JPEG, bring that into the Amiga, and then do the work on it from there. So I'm using multiple tools to do it, but still doing the Amiga for a good percentage of the work. So using the Amiga for its strengths is really something that I recommend doing, and then using other tools when necessary. You have any commentary on that, Vicky? Can't hear you. Try that again. We can't hear you. I have a nice image of your hand there. That's nice. See, there we can hear you. There we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, it's just a mixture of me using not just Amigas as retro stuff, but also pretty much anything that is vaguely modern. Mine is quite old and well past its sell-by date. Okay, sorry guys. I put my headphones, so I hope this helps with the echo problem that Doug mentioned as well. So, right, so my commentary on that is, yeah, absolutely embracing sort of other tools as part of the process is definitely something that I think is a good thing, because I've talked about it in a couple of my recent videos, and I feel that purity, i.e., the whole creative process, because it's only by embracing all of these things and using what we feel are the right tools for. Really super stoked to see what we've got for the 2021 contest. So, eat your this. That's all. I'll mute now.
We're having some buffering issues here. Give me just a second. I'll get right back on topic. Please to enjoy the picture here while I'm getting this reconfigured. Yeah, the speeds are okay. Still buffering?
Oh, it's just lagging a lot
anymore. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me see if I can adjust a few settings here to make this a little bit more reasonable. Give me just 1 second. Grrr, darn technology.
Okay, folks. First of all, before I start talking at any real length, can you hear me okay? Just let me know in the chat on the.
on this. It might be on this side, not.
Okay, let me turn down her volume a little bit. Everything looks okay here. Desktop audio, Amiga. Okay, we'll see if that's any better. Okay, so we're back on the stream, right? Let's see.
Doug's adjusted his volume, so I don't know if the echo is still for you guys now.
Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and move forward then. I think we're back streaming again. My system says that we're streaming. We're not dropping frames, so I think it's going to be catching up now. I apologize for that, people. That's embarrassing. Like I was saying, Amiga 1200. I've got the audio connected directly up to OBS Studio. I've got the video captured through OBS Studio. So almost everything that we see here is going to be broadcast right on an Amiga 1200. The only exceptions are the animations. What I did with those is I'd uploaded the animations to YouTube in order to allow my patrons to take a look at them. And instead of having to open up Deluxe Paint and load the animations frame by frame every